Hello everyone! We're still in Las Vegas at the heart of poker's finest competition, the WSOP main event. This 2024 edition broke all records with over 10,000 participants. But after 2.5 days of fierce battle, 3/4 of them have already fallen. Luckily, this isn't the case for our champion, Adrian Mateos. With over 130 blinds in his stack, the Madrilenian has never been so high up on the leaderboard, and we all know it. He has no intention of stopping there. Adrian, it's your turn.
I'm going to defend my ace-10 suited. He bet very quickly on the flop. I have a clear check call. Great turn. Definitely the best one for my hand. Here, the question is whether I should raise or call. It's pretty close. I decide to just call. Check, check. And I win a nice pot. I'm in the big blind. The player on the cutoff opens. He's short stacked.
All right, players, completion of that hand.
I'm going to defend.
75-minute dinner break. Players, please go ahead and sell your purple chips.
Last hand
to the
before
chip
going to
leader
dinner break.
at your table. Please sell your purple chips to the chip leader at the table. Players, any chips found in your stack after the chip race come out of play. So please make sure you check your stacks before you go on break and put all your purple chips out in front of you.
After a check, this turn is pretty good. And I think my hand is a good candidate to start bluffing. I think betting works very well here. The only question is which bet sizing to go for.
Dealers, you can do the chip race.
I decide to go for a neutral size of 2/3.
The supervisors will come along and do the paying. You can do the chip race though, but please do not pay anyone out.
He folds and I'm going to dinner happy with a big stack.
Not directly involved in the chip race, we do ask that you exit the tournament area, please.
We are getting closer to the money bubble.
You don't have any extra?
I'm helping the dealer and the chip leader do the chip race.
Yes? Yeah. So we flip it, right? Can you do the chip race, Tony, or no? Yeah, you should do it at your race.
One chip, that's it.
Yeah, one chip each. Yeah. One car there, one here. I win. So 1K from him. This chip to him and give me 1K. Yeah.
Give you 1K?
Yeah.
There.
All good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sí, claro.
¿Consideras
Mucha
que...
suerte.
No, no estoy jugando.
¿Qué?
Mucha suerte.
Ah.
¿Consideras que GTO Wizard es bueno para estudiar?
¿Qué tienes que usar él?
Que el GTO Wizard es bueno para estudiar.
Está bien, sí.
¿Sí?
Para aprender
Porque a mí
está
se
bien.
me dificulta estudiar, pero el entrenador se me hace un poco más fácil.
Sí, está bien, con eso
¿Sí?
está bien. Sí. Mucha suerte, que vaya bien.
A break after 6 hours of play. It's time to rest a little bit.
Still in? Good. Still in?
Yeah, I got 500K.
Nice. Nice comeback.
Yeah, I'm gonna rest during the dinner break to take advantage of it. I'm not very hungry right now, so I'd rather disconnect for an hour, without noise, without cameras. End of the break. I'm returning to the table for the last 2 levels of the day. Important moment of the tournament. I have a big stack and we are approaching the bubble and the first cashes. That was the original plan at the start of the day and it looks like it's coming together.
Hello.
But there's still a bit of time remaining until the bubble. I'm gonna keep playing hand after hand in the best way possible, and let's see what the day has in store for us. There are 4 hours left. People are tired, but it's an important time in the tournament.
It was nice to see you on the Triton. You do make good result.
Yeah, really nice. My best trip ever.
Yeah? Hope a lot for you.
Thank you.
All main event tournament players, you should be back in your seats at this time. Main event players, you should be seated. Dealers returning with a 3,000 small blind, 5,000 big blind, 5,000 big blind ante, please begin. Welcome back from dinner break. Cards are back in the air in the main event. 3,000, 5,000 with a 5,000 big blind ante.
We're down to just over 2,000 players. 1,600 or so will make the money.
You ever give somebody walk in your career from small blind to the big?
Many times.
Nah. Once per tournament, maybe.
But not today. Today I'm running good, so I will get good hands.
You ever walk, it's even better than you take a net.
Be careful. This card.
After dinner, I think people are more aware that we're on the bubble.
Just strong.
They've told their friends, they've had dinner with their families, and they've told them that there are a few players left until the ITM. Nobody wants to bubble.
I'm short.
I think after dinner, people are going to play a bit tighter.
Another 243. 1, 2, 20, 30, like 9. Don't worry about it. Huh?
Ah, yeah.
Minimum is 10.
You're correct. Thank you.
Raise to 10,000.
Yeah, I just don't explain to the people.
I decide to call in the small blind after a raise from the button. Pretty loose, but I think it's going to be profitable.
2 players.
Check.
The button checks very quickly. He's a player who is playing very, very tight. He shoved several times with a ton of blinds earlier. I think I can put pressure on him.
12.
That's 12,000.
Roll on.
We'll see what happens on the river. It's a blank. After having bet the turn, I have a mandatory bluff on this river. He's got a lot of average hands. It's going to be tough for this type of player to call on the river.
47.
He folds Queen Jack. And I win a nice pot. The atmosphere at the table is getting a bit better with the last players that arrived, more talkative than the previous ones. I'm going to open this 8-7 suited. I get called by the big blind. In these positions, it's a flop where I'm going to have a tendency to c-bet quite often. He check races me, which I'm not thrilled about. He's a player who's playing pretty tight, who's playing good hands, but I still have good pot odds. It's 19 for a pot of 80 and I can improve my hand. If I improve, I can win a very big pot. I have a pair and some backdoors. The queen hits. If he continues showing aggression, I'm probably going to fold. I don't think this profile has enough bluffs. He has about 2 pots left. There's 80 in the pot. He has 160 left. He looks like he wants to bet, but he's hesitating. He doesn't know how much. He grabs chips, he's still tanking.
At least the cameras are rolling.
And he decides to shove while making a joke. That's value almost every time.
Yeah, bluff. You know it's a bluff, huh? You know it's a bluff.
He shows queen jack for trips.
Just pretend you have. You know, if you bet and he folds, you actually don't have to show your hand to win the pot, right?
I understand.
Don't tell him.
Deal the cards, bitch.
No coaching, please.
No coaching, no coaching.
That's a bluff right there.
The player on my right is eliminated. They're falling one after the other.
Like, are you okay with it? And every single person.
All in from the hijack.
How much?
It's a lot. 19 blinds. 10-10. It's a call, but I'm not expecting to see a lot of weak hands. Let's hope to win the flip. Big flip. Flip of almost 40 blinds. Come on. Club. Nah. No, the club wasn't helping me either. I didn't even know what to hope for anymore.
Perfect.
The flop was really bad.
Fast is always great.
The table is getting more and more complicated. And for a main event, it's not a very good table. King 10 suited. It's a good hand to squeeze here. I can also defend, but I think it will be more profitable to raise.
50.
The bluff squeeze goes well. The cutoff opens. He's the only player who got me covered at the table. Although now it seems that a new player has arrived on my right and also has me covered. Against these two regular players, this hand is a 4-bet. I have to include this hand in my 4-bet range. I don't often have premium hands. My range is strong. They both fold. It works out well. And I pick up another pot pre-flop. A new player arrives in seat 3, Castelluccio, a player who's been playing for many, many years. And another player on my right who, I don't know, but who has quite a few chips. Three, I'm going to open. The big blind defends. An offensive flop, bad for my hand in particular, but that hits my range well. I start with a c-bet of 1/3. He calls. Here, most of the time, my hand wants to check, but it's a decent candidate to bluff with. Also, I think I'm spotting a bit of weakness. I can consider bluffing here and trusting my instincts. I thought I saw something that rules out certain strong hands from his range. I don't block the pot that is autofold. I'm going to make his average hand suffer a lot. And here, I think I can polarize my range towards an overbet range. And this hand can be part of it from time to time. I'm going to trust my read. Also, we are close to the money. Creating a big pot right now could be profitable. I think he's going to overfold quite a bit on this turn, more than he should. I'm putting him in a very uncomfortable spot. Even if sometimes he calls with a combo draw without a pair, on some rivers, I can win a showdown with a pair of 3s. He folds, and I take the pot. The truth is that I'm pretty focused on the day, well, on the tournament in general. I'm pretty happy with how I'm playing. I'm picking well the spots in which to put pressure, and I'm very motivated. I really want to do well in this main event. We don't always get the opportunity to build a big stack in the main event. And I want to do well, so I'm going to stay focused, and I'm going to keep trusting my reads, which are working so far. Ace-8 of diamonds. I'm gonna open. A lot of chips at the table and a lot of players above average. It's a bit of an atypical table for the bubble, without short stacks. It's also not really the bubble yet. There are still quite a few players left. But it's a table where I don't think the players are too tight. A lot of players at this table are used to play these levels. And they don't seem to be afraid. Top pair. I'm gonna check call. It's a flop where I'm going to sometimes continue the aggression, but most of my range is going to rather check. Very good turn, that gives me 2 pair. It's a turn that favors my range a lot. I can donk bet or I can check raise. I like both options. I think I have to donk bet with a certain frequency, and I decide to donk bet 1/4. I have a lot more aces than him that check call on the flop. And it's a card that favors my range. It's a good reason to donk bet on this turn. He decides to raise to 42,000, very small. It's very small.
42?
I think I almost always have the best hand. I don't think he would raise that small with 5-5s or deuces. Also, he probably doesn't even have deuces pre-flop. 5-5, maybe, but I don't think he would make it this small. With 2 flush draws, people tend to protect their hands even more. I almost always have the best hand. The question here is whether I should call and let him bluff, but I don't think he has a lot of bluffs. And a lot of his bluffs are flush draws. I don't want him to realize his equity. I'm going to make it expensive for him. I'm going to 3-bet. He's tanking, he's hesitating. It's a bit of a strange hand. This is not a usual spot. He's tanking a lot. He's not sure what to do. He folds.
Show your friends one time, Adrian. One pack.
YouTube, you can see.
You too?
Yeah, I will post it.
I do 6 fold.
What?
For 10,000, I do 6 fold. And I hit pocket deuces.
No? Packet deuces?
Was good?
It's a strong hand. Packet deuces. Normal is good. Set normal is good.
Set.
That hand normal is really good.
Why do you use normally?
Hmm?
Why do you use normally?
Because sometimes you get unlucky.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the player on his left, who had deuces, wasn't in the hand. I would have lost a big pot. The chip leader at the table keeps opening, he's quite active. My hand is a more than obvious 3-bet. We're trying to play a big pot. Let's see if he still wants to play a very big pot. We're playing almost 150 blinds. That's a ton. He's tanking. It looks like he's grabbing chips. He's going to 4-bet me. Amazing. He 4-bets me. The problem is that here we're playing 150 blinds. I have two options: to call and play post-flop, or to 5-bet. My 5-bet range probably only contains aces for value, some bluffs that I can include, and every once in a while, kings for value. It's different than the previous hand. Before it was 90 blinds, and now it's 150. It changes quite a bit. I don't know whether I should 5-bet him. Earlier I did. I'm not sure. He seems to be an aggressive player. 5-bet could be interesting, but in case he might be a bit crazy, it would be better to call. I'm not sure. I'm going to go for the 5-bet. I hope he jams. It could be the pot of the tournament, the pot of the chip lid, if he jams. We both have more than double the average. We are very, very deep. He folds. I win a nice pot pre-flop, but too bad it didn't get bigger. I have doubts about that hand. I'm not sure whether it was better to call the 4-bet or to 5-bet. It's definitely very close. Both options have their advantages. Small blind against the player on my left. He already made jokes about how I never give him a walk. And it won't be the case this time either. I'm hesitating between raising and limping. Both options are good. I choose to raise. Since we're getting closer to the money, I think I need to have a strategy of opening a bit more in the small blind. It's a flop on which I'm going to have to continue quite often. I have an advantage over the strong ace-X, which he doesn't have because he would have 3-bet. So I've got more of them than him. On the turn, My hand is a bit bad to barrel. It would be too much. I blocked the backdoor hearts, which I don't want to block because these are hands that call on the flop, then fold afterwards. It's a good spot, but it would be a bit too aggressive. Queen 4, I think. I have to manage my frequencies well. My opponents are going to expect me to be very aggressive, so I can't go crazy either. Besides, this player is used to playing at high stakes. He's not going to get scared. River ace. My hand almost never wins. But it's not a good bluff. I don't want to block the queen highs, which are a big part of the weakest hands in my opponent's range. He makes a small bet. I have a bluff catcher. I beat the bluffs, but there aren't that many bluffs that go for this sizing. Also, the 4 is not good. What's good are the pot odds. I have to win very few times, but still I think I don't win often enough. The 4 is bad. I block the bluffs like 4-3, 5-4 and so on.
I told you I prefer that you give me a walk than to take the hand like this.
Green tea, honey?
Here.
Like a great conductor, you never lose the rhythm, Adrian, and you lead your opponents by the baton. This symphony of 3 bets and 4 bets placed in the right tempo allows you to climb to almost 800,000 chips, your highest point in this main event. The third day of this marathon is coming to an end. We'll of course be by your side to live every moment of it, starting with the next episode of Inside the Mind of a Pro.